Today's mug moment is from Matthew 15, verses 35 through 39. So Jesus told all the people to sit down on the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, thanked God for them, and broke them into pieces. He gave them to the disciples who distributed the food to the crowd. They all ate as much as they wanted. Afterward, the disciples picked up 7 large baskets of leftover food. There were 4,000 men who were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. Then Jesus sent the people home, and he got into a boat and crossed over to the region of Magadan. All right, so this is the rest of the story, the feeding of the 4,000. Again, it sounds so much like the feeding of the 5,000. But we should never read over these kinds of stories and act as if this is commonplace, right? Like, oh yeah, I've heard the story of the feeding of the 5,000, no big deal. This is a huge deal when we consider there were probably at least 12,000 people there that were fed from 7 loaves and a few small fish. Jesus did a miracle, and we read these stories and don't take the time to stop and pause and really wonder at how incredible God's power is and how submitted Jesus was to the Lord. But today, the one thing I want to point out to us is Jesus took the 7 loaves and the fish, thanked God for them, and broke them into pieces. And I just feel like so many times everything in our lives becomes commonplace, right? We maybe haven't had to go hungry much in our lives. We haven't had that experience. And so the fact that we have food, even though maybe sometimes we're, under a little financial strain and it's not the food we want, but we always have food. We don't stop and show gratitude for everything. And here Jesus has 7 loaves and 12,000 or more people in front of him, and he stops to give thanks. So today, as you start your day, I challenge you, give thanks. Give thanks for everything you have, no matter how small it is, because, again, in God's hands, something small can become something huge.